Every time you buy a new pair of jeans, make an appointment with a doctor, or apply for a loan, you're giving your data to a company that will store it in a database. The challenge for these companies is their duty to secure your information, while also using it to deliver great customer experiences and business insights. Companies like banks, insurers, and retailers store millions of user records, with every one costing over $180 if there is a security breach. Consequently, a finance company will spend 1% of its revenue on cybersecurity. And as the sophistication of cyber attacks increases, so does the spend to counter them. In 5 years, that spend will hit $400 billion. Data encryption provides a glimmer of hope, but traditional database queries cannot be performed over encrypted data. So you can have all of your data locked up safe, but not searchable, or searchable, but not safe. And because the ability to search is so fundamental, most companies opt for the latter, forcing technology teams to rely only on complex and risky perimeter controls. The solution is to fully encrypt the data, but in a way that still allows it to be queried by authorized users. As engineers and tech leaders, having been frustrated by this challenge for years, we built CipherStash, a searchable encrypted data platform based on research from Stanford University. Now we're helping developers build more secure applications faster and with lower cybersecurity spend. Our mission is to protect the world's data, and Startmate has played a critical role towards achieving that goal. During the program, we undertook pilots with 3 customers, raised a seed round, which we'll be announcing soon, and welcomed additional team members and advisors. Over the next 12 months, we'll focus on building revenue and meeting industry standards for compliance, with our Series A fundraise sometime in 2023. We're moving fast and have started to roll out our first developer plans. You can find out more at CipherStash.com. And if you're not a developer, we'd love for you to spread the word, because the next time there's a data breach, it might be your personal data.
Hey, thanks, Dan. It's been great working with you over the last 3 months and seeing the progress of CipherStash. But maybe you can tell us a little bit for the geeks in the audience about the performance of CipherStash versus traditional databases. How did it compare?
Absolutely, and likewise, by the way. So one of the common misconceptions about CipherStash, and you'd be forgiven for thinking this, is that it's going to be slow. And in fact, traditional solutions or previous approaches to solving this problem are very slow. They in some cases can take hours or even days to process the kinds of queries that we can actually do in milliseconds. So we're basically the same or very similar in terms of performance to traditional databases. And we think that's what makes our product so exciting, is that you get to have this massive uplift in security, but without really any impact to performance.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds compelling. I know you've worked with 2 pilots. You mentioned those over the course of Startmate. Can you tell us a little bit about how those have gone over the last 3 months?
Yeah, actually, we did 2, and then we actually even got a 3rd towards the later end of the program. So they've gone really well. There's an incredible amount of excitement about what we're doing. Maybe it's not exciting to everybody, but certainly people that work in finance and government, where our pilots are based, are very excited about this kind of thing. We are still working together, and we have every indication that these pilot customers will turn into customers. They're solving some really major problems for these organizations. For that matter, if anyone would like to be one of the first to use CipherStash, we're still very keen to do some more pilots. So please reach out.
Yeah, one of the key moments for me was when you talked about where those encryption keys are held. Can you talk a little bit about that? It's certainly an aha moment for me.
Yeah, so one of the exciting things about CipherStash is that customers can bring their own encryption keys. And so what that means is that we never see, CipherStash and the team never see any customer data. We never see any encryption keys. We don't see anything other than random bits and bytes. And that really is a game changer for how data is managed. It's no longer where the data is stored. It's who controls the keys that's important. And that has big ramifications for how organizations think about risk, compliance, vendor management, and even this idea of data sovereignty, where you think that you've got to have the data in the same geographic location. Those kinds of things are no longer required. And in fact, we're seeing a lot of changes in how central authorities, like, for example, the Singaporean MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, are changing the way that they view where data is stored because of technologies like CipherStash. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, awesome. As somebody who's been through compliance, I'm going to go and sign up right now because yeah, totally.
That's great.